Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for clicking on this edition of The Daniel Saul Show exclusively on YouTube. And if you want to see other highlights and analysis from this show, make sure you go hit that subscribe button as well as the bell so you get notified after every video that I post. And if you want to go check on my other social media platforms such as X, Instagram, and TikTok, they will be in the description below. Grow the channels, and there will be more videos to come on all social media platforms for The Daniel Saul Show. Now we're going to get into boxing. Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford happened this weekend, and I'm going to dive into the results. I'm going to break it down, analyze it, and I'm going to tell y'all why I truly believe Terence Crawford is now in the Mount Rushmore of boxing fighters in the history of the sport. Not even close. Let's get into it. So in the build-up for the fight, a lot of analysts were saying how everyone knows Canelo's a bigger fighter. He's going to have strength advantage over Terence Crawford. He's going to have a size advantage, just brute strength. He's just going to be a bigger guy, right? And he is a smart fighter, okay? One of the smartest fighters in the world. He is one of the best technically sound boxers in the world if he puts his mind to it. And everyone thought it was just going to be too much for Crawford. Well, come fight night, that was proven wrong. So the thing is, size and power had no effect in this fight, okay? It did nothing in this fight. It didn't play a role whatsoever. It was like, to me, just looking at the fight, basic breakdown, it was almost a shutout. I mean, this fight was damn near a shutout. Terence Crawford just did the unthinkable in this fight, right? When you look at it when they started to box, okay, and first of all, before I get into this, we're going to go look at the scorecards because that really threw me off. The judges in this fight were Tim Cheatham, Max DeLuca, and Steve Weisfeld. Some of the best judges boxing can provide, right? Some of the best judges out there in the sport. But man, do they need to be drug tested. I'm being so for real. They need to be drug tested immediately because what they scored the fight was 115 to 113, 115 to 113, and 116 to 112. You know what that is? 115 to 113 is 7 to 5, which is one round off from a draw. I'm going to look in the camera and say this. There is nobody that watched that fight that can sit up here and say that they thought by watching that fight it was anything close to a draw. This fight was nothing close to a draw. I don't know how anybody can think that. Okay, I scored it 119 to 111. And I scored it that way because, one, I'm not a judge. Okay, I can score it however I want to score it, but I'm not a judge, so difficult rounds, I'm not going to be able to do it as well as a judge, especially these are the best judges you can find. But the scores were way too close for comfort for me. If you look at my scorecard, I had the first 3 rounds I had going to Crawford. The 4th round, I felt like Crawford slowed down and Canelo picked up the pace because he realized he was losing some rounds. And both of these judges, or all 3 of these judges, had Canelo winning at least one of the 3 rounds, the first 3 rounds. And I don't believe that to be the case. I just don't think that was, I don't think he fought good enough to win any of those rounds. 4, I had Canelo winning for sure. I think he, was more active. He threw more punches, landed more, and Crawford was really running that round. He was just moving around the ring a little too much. He didn't land a lot of shots. Canelo definitely won that round with ease. Then we go to round 5, okay? And there's only two rounds in this fight where I really couldn't score it, okay? It was back and forth. It could go either way. It was a toss-up round. And that was round number 5 and number 9. But I'm going to get to number 9 later. Number 5 was a little bit of a toss-up, so I gave it 10-10. And I don't like doing that, but it was that close that it could go to either fighter. Number 6, I gave to Crawford. 7 and 8, I gave to Crawford. He was just the aggressor. when it came to certain, spurts. He was moving around the ring, doing what he was supposed to do, right? The basic breakdown of this fight before it happened was if Crawford wants to win, he needs to move around the ring, stick the jab in his face, which he did, throw combinations, and then move around, which he did, and he did it perfectly. And that's why he won most of these rounds. He won rounds 6, 7, and 8 with ease. And then round number 9 came along. The round started. 10 seconds in, they were throwing punches like crazy. They stood in the middle of the ring, the Riyadh season logo, in the middle of the ring, and they were throwing punch for punch. They were head-to-head, toe-to-toe, whatever you want to say, and they were throwing haymakers. They were throwing their best shots. And you know who won that exchange? Terence Crawford did. But the later round, I felt like Canelo Alvarez really stepped it up. I felt like Canelo threw and landed more combinations and landed more shots than Crawford did in that round. But because Crawford had a few good moments in that round, moments that are viral on social media platforms, if you did not know, that exchange is everywhere on the internet, and Crawford won that exchange, which does a lot, and which says a lot to the judges and to the viewers watching at home or in the stadium. Everything else, 10, 11, and 12, I gave to Crawford. That was great rounds for Terence Crawford, and in the 12th round, he had Canelo on Bambi legs. And the thing is, after the fight, right, they went and had the press conference, right, for the post-fight, and Canelo said a few things that I want to touch on. So before the fight happened, analysts were saying how Crawford's defense wasn't good and that he gets hit a lot because he likes to brawl. He likes to throw punch for punch and just beat you up, and so he gets hit a lot. Well, that wasn't accurate, was it? Because when they asked Canelo if his power, because obviously everyone knew that he had more power, like I said in the beginning of the video. The thing is, it didn't really do anything. And he said it. He said, I never really hit him clean with all of my power. And you know why? Because every time he tried throwing a hard shot, Crawford blocked it. We saw the same thing happen in the Spence fight. But Spence landed a clean shot to the head with a hook, and Crawford ate it. There were a few shots where Canelo hit straight down the pipe. Crawford ate it. Crawford has a chin, and people are underestimating that chin. He was moving around because he respected Canelo's power. He's going up 3 weight classes practically. Of course he's going to move around the ring. What did you want him to do? That's what he had to do if he wanted to win the fight, and he did. But this is the thing. His defense was impeccable. His offense was impeccable. He was a better boxer than Canelo Alvarez, and he proved it. So, there are a few other comments that Canelo made that I really want to touch on. Another one is he said that he couldn't figure out the style. He couldn't figure out Crawford's style. This is why, ladies and gentlemen, because Crawford is a better fighter. Terence Crawford came up 3 weight classes to fight the super middleweight undisputed champion of the world, the face of boxing, went toe-to-toe with him, took his power, gave him a taste of his own medicine, because Crawford had enough power to give Canelo a sense of like, I gotta watch out. Okay, he's hitting me too much. And Crawford's reach really did a lot to Canelo, because Canelo couldn't really do what he wanted to do for the most part.